What's going on? Alright, so we are now on to engine mounts. I've completely put the subframe back in, plumbed it in, everything like that. So we've got 4 total. We've got this one down in here. And we got that one down the back there. It's a little bit hard to see, so I can zoom in. It's that one there. So it's number 2. And then we've obviously got so that's that one there on the timing belt side, that's that one on the gearbox side, and then we've obviously got your front engine mount on the lower subframe as well as the back one. I haven't put this back in yet after doing the subframe all nicely back in there with all the new good bits and pieces. So obviously to do these ones you need to first prop the engine up a little bit with a jack to pick up the slack. Then you want to undo these bolts front, back. You've got 2 here as well as 2 up the back there. This whole front lower subframe pops out. It's just a simple case of making sure they're in the right orientation as they were before. Chucking them back on. I will put this back on, which will help support the engine as well when I do the other ones. Do these ones here, and then I'll go through how to do these ones. Alright, bear with me. Alright, so that's these 2 done, one down there, and obviously the other one's like down the back in there. Wasn't super straightforward. This one, the back one was okay. This one, the hole didn't quite line up properly. I ended up loosening the 2 mounting bolts here and here off a little bit, so it got some wiggle room, and then managed to get it all in, and then all the bolts done up. This one here, this bolt there, let me zoom in, was actually wasn't too bad. Just had all the extension bars on my socket. It was pretty easy. The other one that's down here is a little bit more tricky, but I got there in the end. So now we're going to work on this one over here. So I've already still got this attached from dropping the subframe. So I'm going to take this bracket off here to make it a little bit easier. Just 2 bolts here. And then this one on the top here to get the aircon hose off. And then we've got a long bolt that slides through. And then we got these 3 here. So still got the jack underneath up on the sump. Just a little bit of pressure on the bottom of the engine to take the pressure off the engine mount. So we're going to do this one next. Now, that's all the bolts out. So obviously we had the one here. Took this bracket off, left the pump back on there. Got a 14mm down in here. We've got 2 14mm nuts there and then 1 14mm bolt there, and there's a 19mm nut down here. Just sort of push this out of the way. Whoops! Well, that hit the floor. That's a bonus. So now that I've got that 19mm off this side over here, I can just push, and then this pulls out, and it goes through. So the 19mm was on this side, and as you see down here, the 14mm was on this one. And now we can, which is actually mounted to the engine bay itself. So now I've just got to try and get, as you can see, it's free. So I've just got to try and get it, basically that's the tricky part, getting it through there. So I'm gonna have to use both ends for this. Okay, there we have it. What I ended up doing was just jacking up the engine just a tiny little bit more and just pulled that out. So I noticed when I did all the timing stuff on this that this engine mount here was split. Split all the way through, look at that, on that side too. So that's the busted one. I'll put it here. And there's the new one. So as you can see, it's all good. And they are thankfully the same. Because I would have been absolutely fuming if they were different, because I actually had a lot of issues getting this one. Well, that top bracket's a little bit on a different angle, but that's okay, it'll still work. Yeah, friggin' eBay seller was like, oh, we have it in stock. A month later, still hadn't sent it, no tracking, no nothing. Went in and saw them, they're like, no, we have it in stock, we'll send it out to you tomorrow. express post. They didn't. It wasn't until I actually raised an issue with eBay that they, you know, promptly went and picked it up from their supplier and sent it to me. So it's literally a case of just lining these holes up, if I can. Try and do this one-handed. I'm going to push in a little bit. Where are you? Oh, hang on, 2 hands. So once again, a little bit of a... Oh, scratched the cover there, but that's okay. A little bit of force. She went in pretty well. So I'll start putting all these bolts back in again. I'll bring you back. And that's it, all done. These are back on here. The brackets have done back up again. As I said before, that still fits nicely. We've got all those 3 bolts down on there. Got a big one at the back here. This one at the front. Jack's now off the engine and she doesn't move. So I've got a feeling that the other engine mount down in there is actually going to be okay. So 2 out of 4 were buggered, but we've got to see how to do this one. That took me all of about, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. This one should be interesting because of how far down it was. Now when I was underneath yesterday, I could actually see the bottom of it quite easily. So it might be a case of doing, you know, a little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom, but airbox is going to have to come out first. I've done this before, but it's actually really easy. It just comes out. Just let's take this filter out if I can do it with one hand, which I can't. But anyway, so we'll take that out and then have a look. Probably have to take this off too and disconnect this whole section here. So I'll have a look at that and come back. Yeah. So all of about 30 seconds later, I've got the airbox off. Very easy, obviously, just undo this, undo these clips, pops out. So if you look at these bolts here, I think I'm going to find them inside the wheel well. So we've got 4 of them. And then we've got some bolt there. We've got a nut down here on the other side. So yeah, another straightforward one. Let's pop underneath and see what we can see with these. So I'll come up under here. I have a feeling that it's going to be these 4 here. So that, yeah, I reckon that's going to be them there. I will have a suss and then get back to you. So, couldn't get this thing to budge. Didn't have much room in there, and I could only really fit my my socket in there, so it was, you know, only up to about here. So just couldn't get the leverage on it to get it out. So ended up taking out these 3 bolts here on this part of this mount. Once again, good news, they are the same, thankfully. So I'm going to dug that off. Might give this a quick lick of paint just to make it look a bit nicer, and then I'll chuck it back on this one. I did drop one of these bolts down inside the rail in here, so I was right, it was these 4 here. This one here has dropped down and it's sitting about here, so I've got to try and get that out. I don't know, I've got one of those little long skinny magnet grabby things, so hopefully that'll work. So you got to be really careful taking them out. So yeah, I will do that and then we'll come back. So that was a mission. I worried for a second there, thinking that it wasn't actually going to come out. The bolt's quite chalky, which is odd. You see in there. Also, yeah, she was on her way out. It's starting to split here. You see just there. This side, I think there's cracks forming. Yeah, look at that. Cracks forming on this side too. So yeah, good thing I had one good engine mount out of all of them. So I'm glad I got all of them. Alright, so now that's off. Yeah, I'll give this a bit of paint and we'll start chuck everything back on. Okay, and there you have it. I can't really see it, bloody hell. The engine mount, new engine mounts down there. Nice little lick of paint. Put the air filter back on, so everything's back together. And then you can see I am missing one of these plugs there, but should be right. Worst case, I'll seal it off another car of some description. But that's it. So that's how you change all 4 engine mounts on your GTi. Hopefully you found this information helpful. yeah, here I am. Hopefully you found this information helpful, and you can find these parts just on eBay. That's how I got mine. Just make sure you get a tracking number like pretty quick, and then chase them up if they don't, because there's a lot of stores these days on eBay, they just drop ship. Oh my goodness, words are hard. Drop ship stores. Yeah, see, I tried to, make sure that was right. I think they were between sort of about 90 bucks each on average, I reckon, each of them. Yeah, both bottom ones and both side ones. Like each, obviously not total. So that's it. I can finally, now that all the suspension's done on the front, chase the light, there we go. Now the suspension's done on the front, story time. So I was this close to finishing off, the lighting is terrible, let me try this. So I was this close to finishing off, it's Sunday, leave me alone. This close to finishing off the subframe stuff. I had one more bolt to put back in, and of course it cross-threaded. I then had to spend a good probably 5 hours cutting the head off, because I got to the point where that was the last thing I had to do. So I then had to take everything back out again. So disconnect the steering column, which I'm going to add in a little tip on how to get that back in at the end of this too. So that, disconnect the lines that are, try and catch all the fluid before it went all over the floor in the garage. Pull all the bolts back out again, undo the tie rod ends, undo the sway bar, everything, drop it back down, cut the bolt again so it was flush with the body of the car. 3mm, 9mm, and I've got an 11.5mm drill bit. Drilled them all out. My arms were killing me because obviously, hang on, she's just up on jack stand, so I was laying under there for, as I said, probably about 4 or 5 hours. Let this jack down now, actually, now that all of the mounts are back on. So yeah, that was, put everything back on, drilled that out, tapped it out. It was 12 by 1.25. Tapped that out. Because what had happened was that not only had it started cross-threading, but the captive nut had broken loose. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to cut a hole and try and get the old one out and put a new nut in, and then make it big enough to get a spanner in there to hold it, or made it off of me his welder, tack that back in there. But then I got underneath it, I noticed that, and I could feel it, I put my little finger in a hole. Sounds dirtier than it is, near it, and I could feel that there was kind of like a dome over it, kind of like this, and the captive nut was in there. Also the top of the captive nut was round, it wasn't actually a nut, so I probably wouldn't have been able to get a hold of it. But what I noticed was that while I was drilling it, it would spin a little bit and then grab, and then spin a little bit and grab, and when I put the tap in it to re-tap the thread, as long as I went nice and gentle, it didn't spin. So I was crossing all my toes and fingers, put everything back on again, and then went to put that nut in. I think I started doing it one afternoon. I started about 2 o'clock and I drilled all the holes. It was about 6 when I'd finally started putting that bolt in. Yeah, it just, with a socket, just no worries, it went in, too easy. No issues at all. So that's fixed. So now I can theoretically put it back down on the ground. The exhaust is back on. I would start it, but I'm still waiting for the RTV to settle. It's got to allow full 24 hours before putting heat through it. And I finished doing that yesterday at 5:30, and it's currently about 3. So just err on the safe side. We've got a public holiday tomorrow, Monday, so I'll probably get out here and start it up tomorrow. Because I can also assume that now that all the engine mounts are good, that the engine's going to stay nice and smooth, and it's I didn't really notice it shaking or anything like that. I'll go back and check the footage on my other videos, but it's definitely going to be better now. So yeah, so now that that's done, then I can do the brakes. So with those, I'll show you how to take them off. I'm going to pull them apart completely. As I said in my unboxing video, I've got a rebuild kit for the front calipers. It's all new rubbers and stuff. I'll just pull them all apart, clean them up, painted that nice yellow as the back, put them back on, new rotors on the front, slotted rotors, and then I could start looking at getting this thing painted. I was talking to a guy I know the other day at a dealership who runs his own shop, and says reckons I'm probably looking about between 6 to 8 to get this resprayed. So I'll do some more shopping around, see what I can find. Hopefully I can find somewhere where they'll let me come in and do some of the work, and I can film it and show you guys the process. That's it for me today. I am hot and sweaty. It's probably just over 30 degrees today. I think that's about it. Kind of running out of things to do on this thing now, so hopefully I'll get out to some more shows. Spion, I missed a really good show last weekend. A mate of mine went in his Lancer and got some wicked photos, and there was a GTi there. Shout out to Zachary, who took his down there. That's it for me. I'll go inside, get cleaned up, and then do some more stuff tomorrow. Have a good one. Be safe. Uru. Just want to tack onto the video from the other day about the whole subframe thing. So obviously, you need to take that bolt out, take the steering shaft out of that to get the subframe out, because obviously the steering rack's attached to the subframe. So now that I've done it a couple of times, the easiest way to get the steering rack back in there, you've got to remove this whole panel. It's pretty easy. You've got like screws here, up here, and there's another one like up over here and down here. Then the screws to take the bottom of the steering, like the lock, this bit of plastic off. There's like 3 screws in here. So you got, see if I can zoom in a little bit actually. So you got this bracket here. So you undo both of these screws here and up there, 12 mils. Yeah, 12 mils. Take those 2 out, and then up in here, either side, just don't take them all the way out, just loosen it off, and obviously also undo your steering lock. That will allow you to move the whole entire steering wheel and column backwards a little bit, enough to then put the thread back over the little, I don't know what you call it, little doodad that the spline, there you go, that then goes straight to the steering rack. I figured that's just the easiest way to do it, so I thought I'd add that to the whole, steering rack subframe type jobby. Hopefully that'll help you.